Hey everybody, salam. How are you? I hope you're doing okay. I haven't gone live in a while, so definitely wanted to come on and talk about something that's been on my mind. And a couple of people have reached out and asked me to speak about this. And then so many of my clients, we talk about this all the time. And the topic being like communicating your truth. And so what does that even mean, right? What is communicating your truth? And what is your truth anyways? All important questions. And it's about the 3 A's, okay? That's what helps us in knowing ourselves and then making changes and improving. So what are the 3 A's, okay? Acknowledgement, awareness, and action. So acknowledgement is acknowledging what I'm feeling. And this can relate to all kinds of situations, whether it's in relationships, whether it's at work, whether it's with myself. It's acknowledging what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing. So acknowledging my experience. Maybe I'm angry about something. Maybe I'm frustrated. Maybe I'm overwhelmed, or whatever else it is, right? So acknowledging what I'm feeling, acknowledging my experience, that I'm experiencing loss, or I'm experiencing grief, or I'm experiencing just numbness, whatever it is, okay? So acknowledging, that's the first A, the A of acknowledging my experience. The second A is awareness. Why am I feeling this way? What am I really experiencing, right? So it's not always the why. The awareness isn't always the why, but it's also detailing the what. So if I'm feeling grief, what is that really about? What does it point to? What have I experienced in my life that it's led me to feel this way? And also the why is part of it. Why am I feeling this way? What am I feeling in my mind, body, and soul that's, what am I experiencing in those 3 areas, right? My mind. What is my mind telling me in this moment? And it's really listening into the thoughts that you have swirling around your mind. And oftentimes they're thoughts about you, or basically about us. So if my awareness piece is, and I want to increase in awareness, I've got to listen into my thoughts, what my mind is telling me about me. Is there self-doubt? Is there, a lack of trust in self? Is there a questioning of my decisions? I guess that would be a lack of trust. What is there an attack on myself, on the way I look, on the way I present myself, on the way I'm acting? What is my mind telling me? Okay, so now stay with me here. Now we're focusing on mind, body, and soul, right? First we had the 3 A's. So the acknowledgement, awareness, and action. We talked about acknowledgement, now we're on awareness. So part of awareness is mind, body, and soul, okay? So mind, what is my mind telling me? What is my mind think about me or others or the world or past experiences? And then body, okay? Where do I carry tension in my body? Where do I carry my trauma, my traumatic experiences and memories? Where am I in my body experiencing stagnation? And what do I need to do with my body to experience that release and growth? Whether it's that exercise or going for a run or doing yoga, what is it in the body? And sometimes it's not an actual exercise, right? But it's getting up and moving. Maybe I just need to get up from my desk and walk around. So that's body. So mind, body, and soul. Now, soul depends on who you are, depends on your belief system, it depends on your spirituality, but the soul is the being that exists inside of our body, right? However you view it. It's that spiritual being. And so what is that spiritual being experiencing right now? And what does it need to be nourished? What do I need to do to nourish the soul that is inside of my body? And it may look differently, depending on who you are and what works for you. But that's part of that awareness, is focusing on mind, body, and soul. Is in those three areas, what am I experiencing and what do I need? And then I guess that takes us to the third A, which is action. So acknowledgement, acknowledging my experience, awareness, bringing myself to a greater awareness of what I'm experiencing, what's going on with me in those three areas of mind, body, and soul. And then the A of action. I've got to move. I've got to do something in order to be self-actualized. I can't just find out about myself and learn about myself and gain all this insight and read all these books and listen to all these. I can't always listen to all these, podcasts and do all of these things and not take the action. And believe me, all the action is not always easy. It can be so extremely challenging where I know exactly what I need to do, but there's a barrier. There's something that's holding me back. And oftentimes it's that internal barrier, right? It's that ugly procrastination that comes up and tells me, oh, I'll do that later. Or I don't need to do this now. Now is the time. And honestly, personally, that's been something that has really helped me personally on a personal level, is when I hear in my mind, I'll do that later, that is immediately when I need to do it now. I catch myself, I'll look at this to-do list, right? I've got this to-do list right here in front of me. And I look at it and I'm like, I'll do that later. I'll make that call later. I'll do that later. Immediately, I have to catch myself. And if I'm telling myself I'm going to do it later, I better get myself up and do it now, because that is procrastination rearing its ugly head. So action has got to be a part of my journey of healing in order for me to truly get somewhere, truly succeed, truly move forward, right? And the time is now. So what is that thing that you've been putting off? What is that thing that you've been wanting to do, that you need to do, that you want to do? And it's about doing it now. Because when I'm putting it off, it's, again, that procrastination. It's that self-sabotage. It's putting it off till later. So we've got the acknowledgement piece, acknowledging my experience. We've got the awareness piece, becoming aware of everything that I'm struggling with, everything that's difficult for me, everything I need to do to move forward. And then now the action piece. And I'm going to take that action. I'm going to start practicing yoga 3 times a week. I'm going to put it on my to-do list that I need to get this done. I need to get this done now. What is that action that I need to take? And now, to bring me to the actual topic of this, which is communicating your truth. So that was the whole process of knowing what my truth is. What is my truth? I know what I feel. I know what I want to do in life. I know how I want to be in this certain relationship. And now it's communicating it. Why do we have so much trouble communicating our truth to people? We sink into the shadows. We silence ourselves or we mute ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to speak. We're afraid. We're afraid. There's fear there of what people will think, of losing people, of doing something wrong, of making a fool of ourselves, whatever that fear is. It's owning it. It's owning that fear, knowing it, right? That was in the awareness piece. We have already done that. And so now I know what holds me back. And it's giving myself permission to speak that truth. So when it comes to relationships and I've got something on my mind, something that's bothering me, something, that you've done that has hurt me, or, whatever else it is, and now it's time to communicate it, it's going through those 3 A's. Acknowledging that what this person did hurt me. Awareness. It hurt me because it was wrong. And what they did was, not okay. And I won't allow it to be okay. And then the action piece. Now it comes to speaking it to the person, or, wherever, depending on the situation, of course, wherever you need to speak it, whether that's in journaling, whether that's in a book, whether that's in a voice note, whether it's in specifically directly to the person or to someone. It's giving yourself permission to speak your truth, because it is your truth. It is your experience, and there's nothing wrong with your experience, the way that you experienced it. You felt hurt, you felt angry, you felt wronged, you felt betrayed, whatever that was. It is 100% valid because you felt it. And so it's not allowing anyone else to explain or erase your experience. It's your truth. And so communicating your truth requires acknowledgement, awareness, and action. So you're giving yourself permission that I have a right to speak my truth. And I'm going to take that action because I value myself and I honor my experience. And so what will it take for you to give yourself permission to communicate your truth? Is it literally writing yourself a permission slip? I give myself permission to speak my truth. I give myself permission to communicate this to such and such person. Is it challenging that inner fear that you have inside of you? Whatever that fear is, fear of what the person will say, how they'll react, what they'll think of you. Working through that fear. And one way of doing that is really asking yourself, what is the worst that could happen? And so many times the worst that could happen is that you don't speak your truth and you're silenced once again. And you silence yourself in that moment. And of course, this is not relating to absolutely every experience, and it depends on the experience. But I'm saying generally, right? That when you choose not to speak your truth, and you stay quiet in that moment, it's you silencing yourself. And the most important thing in building trust in yourself is you showing up for yourself, you standing up for yourself. And so do that, whatever it takes. Learn what those fears are. And therapy is the place to do it. And I'll say it 100 times, 1 billion times. Therapy is the place to do it, where you sit and focus on you, because you deserve that time and more. And you work through what those fears are that are holding you back. And you work through your inhibitions and the barriers that keep you from speaking your truth and living your truth and living your authentic life. You show up for you in that 45 minutes to an hour, and you say that I'm going to show up for me here because I want to show up for me in every area of my life. And that's why I'm showing up here in therapy, because it will allow you to show up for yourself in other areas. It will help you to remove those barriers, those fears, those inhibitions, those the trauma responses that need that time and space to heal. So show up for yourself. In doing this work, in communicating your truth, it's showing up for yourself today and every day. And you start doing that right now, when I'm ending this live and, you're finishing off this video, it's how will you show up for you? It's how will you show up for you? I'm going to show up for me by ending this, by picking up my journal and journaling what I just talked about, because I think it'll help me even later on. And hopefully, my clients that I work with, everything I just spit out and didn't have prepared. So I think that's what I'm going to do for myself. I'm going to show up for me. I'm going to just write it all out. How are you going to show up for you? What are you going to do? What is that action that you're going to take to show up for you today? And if you're not in therapy, that's the place to show up every single week for yourself to continue to work on your growth and your healing. So it's so nice to speak to all of you today. I'm going to end this and do some journaling and focus a little bit on me. And I hope you do the same. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram if you have any comments. I'd love to hear them. Any questions at all, feel free to reach out. And I look forward to speaking to you all again soon. Bye and salam. Thank you for joining.